Alright guys, today we're gonna do an oil pan gasket on a 2010 Toyota Camry, and this is what we're looking at. Alright, what I have here is the oil pan right here, and this is a 2010 Toyota Camry. The part number on this is Doorman, that's the brand, 264474. Alright, so that's the part number on this pan right here. This is a 4-cylinder Toyota Camry. If you have other models, 4-cylinder. And the problem with this is this drainer here is stripped from inside. Alright, let's look at from inside. You see the threads in here? This is moving inside and it's leaking oil inside from right here. It's leaking oil from here, right? This car. And also in the bottom, we're gonna change the filter. We're gonna do oil change because all the oil is gonna come out. And the customer brought his own oil here. He's using Mobile 1. And I have a couple of tools here. We're gonna use this little electric drill here. This is snap-on with number 10 in the front. A lot of these bolts, all of these bolts around this pan is number 10. All right, and then you're gonna put a gasket on around this. Let me show you a gasket. Here's a gasket. The part number on this Velcro is 30842. That's the part number. This is what the gasket look like. But I got this just in case if I need to use this gasket, because I don't like using those gaskets. They usually, if you tighten these bolts and right in the middle when it squeezes, it cracks. Then you'll have a small leak around here. What I like to use is a bond, and which one I came out very good, had a very good experience with was Honda Bond. So I'm gonna be using Honda Bond to seal this up. Right on the car, we're gonna clean up the surface where this is gonna attach to on the car under the engine. Make sure you use some type of scraper, blade, and I'll show you a little glimpse of it, what we're gonna do to clean that up. All right, and that's about it. This is what we have here. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to the car. We're gonna lift up the car and drain the oil and change this gasket. I'm sorry, the pan and the gasket, or if you're gonna use the Honda Bond. Right there we have it, oil pan for a 2010 Toyota Camry. Alright guys, we got this car on the lift and we're gonna lift this up. And we'll change the oil pan and we'll do the oil change. I don't think we have the option. You do have to do oil change. And we're gonna show you what we're gonna do. Alright, once we have the car up in the lift, if you look down here, it's dripping oil. Last time we did oil change, this thing didn't come out so good. We told the customer we'll order the piece for him, but he said he wanted to wait till the next oil change. And so what we're gonna do is, first we're gonna drain this oil. Let's drain this oil. Alright, so you're gonna take number 14 and you're gonna remove that drainer. After that, we'll take out all these number 10 bolts all around. We're taking out that drain bolt. We're gonna let the oil out. You don't want to remove that pan and there's oil in there. It's gonna splatter all over. Alright, here comes the oil. You can already see there's metal particles on that bolt where it's stripped from. Usually people go to like a Zap Lube. They have a lot of bolts in there, so when they do oil change, they drop the bolt in there, then they don't know which one it is, and they jam any bolt in there. Alright, let's give this a good 10 minutes, and then we'll take off the number 10 bolts all around. We're gonna put this drainer back in, alright, so it blocks that hole from leaking any further. Alright guys, so this is, it drained out already as much as it can. Alright, so we're gonna put a lock on that bolt right there. After that, it'll drip a little bit, no problem. And just want to show you guys up here, there's no seal here. This thing has some type of solution. That's why I mentioned I'm not gonna put the seal. I'm gonna probably put the Honda Bond. So that's what I'm gonna put over there. Alright, so you take that number 14, you put that in, and you lock that up, right? By lock, I mean just tighten it up, because you don't want the little oil dripping anyway. So the engine is empty of oil, all right? And once we're done with this, we're gonna let that sealant that we're gonna put on the as a gasket, we're gonna let it dry for a good hour and a half. There you go, we have that tight. Now we're gonna move on to removing all the bolts on the oil pan. Alright guys, now we're gonna take number 10 with the ratchet and extension. We're not gonna use a power tool, even though you see in my video I showed power tool, and there is some for a reason, because sometimes if those bolts are stripped, you don't want to just put that tool on and it yanks everything. Alright, so we're gonna go all around, we're gonna take them all out. Don't worry about thinking that the pan's gonna fall on you, because it's not. Alright, it's stuck with that sealant up there. You're gonna probably have to hammer it with a little some type of chisel or a flathead screwdriver to get it out of there. So we're gonna go all around. Alright, some of them you might not be able to reach. You might have to put a swivel on. If that's the case, put a swivel on. If not, then you just continue the job. On the opposite side, same thing over here. Alright, so I'm gonna let them take out these bolts and we'll come right back once all these are removed. Out. All of them are out, but that one over there is not out. The one all the way down there. Let me see if I can put a light from a better angle. Oh, I can't. This is the only angle I have. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this swivel with the long extension, number 10. So if that's the one you're trying to reach also, you need a swivel with the number 10, or you can reach it from the side, remove the side cover, remove the tire. Alright, there you go. It's coming out. These bolts, all of them should be the same size, and just want to show you what we took off over here. They're all the same size, and you have two nuts there, and that's all the bolts that we took off. Next, what we're gonna do is, this is ready to come out. Alright, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put it right there, over here, this side, because we're gonna tap on that side. Make sure you catch the threads good. Few threads and that's it. This is to hold it just in case this falls down, alright? Because we're gonna tap the oil pan down. And you're probably wondering about this. Don't worry about this little thing right here. If it bothers us, we'll remove it. If not, we can leave it alone. I'm talking about this little bracket on the exhaust. We're gonna hit this with the hammer softly in the back. Need a hammer. You're gonna get a hammer, so you're gonna use this spot right there, and you're gonna budge that oil pan, alright? There you go. Now you can yank it down with the flathead, and it should release and just go all around just like that. Make sure you hold it with one hand, but it's not gonna fall since we put the one little bolt on one side. Alright, now it's time to remove that bolt. And what we're gonna do is, you can either put a bucket on the floor or something that's gonna protect the floor from getting oil drips on it. Alright. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna yank this pan to one side, and then it's gonna slide out to the other side, alright? Now we're gonna take this straight under this, just put it on the floor. We're gonna use this pan, right? We're gonna put it straight down, because the oil is still dripping. We're gonna get something to put it here, and then we'll take this pan, and we'll throw this pan out, and then we're gonna clean the surface here, alright, with the blade all around. We have to clean the surface very good. And this is where the oil pickup is. Don't remove anything, don't touch anything else in there. And we have the dipstick right there. See the dipstick sticking out? So watch the oil dripping, so be careful. So all you do is you're gonna take a blade and you're gonna clean this surface, all right? Don't spray anything down here. You don't want to damage anything. After that, you can spray brake cleaner, parts cleaner onto a rag and just wipe it down thoroughly. So let me just give you an idea how to do this. You take a blade and you just scrape it off, right? So I'm gonna let him do this and we'll come back once it's all clean all around. All right, so he's still cleaning. It's been good 10 minutes. He got some of the area on this side clean. We got one of that side left. And on this side, if you like, you can remove that filter housing right there, the canister, to give you more room. All right, he's gonna do that, but I'm not gonna record that so you guys can see later on. All right, guys, we're still cleaning. Use a blade. If you have a scraper, there's a few tools. I had one, I couldn't find it, but blade is fine. After this, you could just clean it with the brake cleaner. Just wipe it down with the spray it on the rag and wipe it down. Alright guys, we got this whole thing cleaned. We also removed that filter housing right there, give you better room. Alright, so this is all clean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a rag here with the brake cleaner, the parts cleaner. What you're gonna do is you're gonna spray this onto the rag and you're gonna just wipe this down. All right, what this is gonna do is it's gonna take out the little residues of that sealant there. That's the same sealant that Honda uses. So we have a package of that. We're gonna show you that once it's ready to go on. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna clean all around. All right, we're gonna just give it a few seconds so you can see. Just wipe it all around. Can you do this angle so we can see better? And then I'm gonna end the video there. Spray some more on that rag. So we'll spray some more on that rag, and you can see the difference. It's making it nice and clean. All right, so you got some sprayed onto the rag, and we're gonna clean that in. That's where you're gonna see the difference. All right, so I'm gonna let him work on this, and we'll come back and we'll put the rest of the stuff back together. We'll put some Honda bond. Here, put it where you like it. All right, guys, there it is. It's all nice and clean. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the pan ready with the new Honda bond sealant on it. When we put this in, you see that little bit of oil there? We're gonna wipe that off before we smack the pan up, all right? Because you don't want the oil, it will not seal it up properly. All right, guys, we got the new pan here. We're gonna just wipe the inside down a little bit. Let a little debris. And it's nice and clean. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this Honda bond right here in his hand. This is just like a silicone, but it's much stronger. And you can buy this from a Honda. The Toyota sells something, but it's not better than the Honda. It's more stronger. All right, so we're gonna open this up. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this all around. All right. I'm only gonna show you first few seconds. You're just gonna go all around, go around the bolts, and then you could scrape it down, like push it down with the finger to spread it evenly. And once you have it all around, I'll show you the finished product and we'll put this up. Alright, so he's continuing the job. He's doing pretty good so far. Alright guys, we got this Honda bond all around the pan. So what we're gonna do now is just take your finger, just move it around all over, just spread it evenly around these bolts right here. You gotta go all around it, both sides. Oh, be careful. Don't rush, take your time. And when you put this on, it's gonna squeeze and it's gonna spread itself all over, right? We just gotta have a layer just laying flat. Alright, I'm gonna let him complete this and then we'll take it over to the car. Alright guys, there's the finished product. We spread the sealant around as much as we can, as perfectly as we can. We went around the bolts, the bolt holes. We just went around it so both sides are covered. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this over. Alright guys, we wiped the oil off on this side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this pan, and here it comes. It's gonna go in. You're gonna stick one side in. You're gonna push it over to the one side. So you're gonna hit this side. And I'm gonna go around so you can. There you go. So you push it to the right a little bit, and then you'll get this side, this bolt from the exhaust in. Now you have to find the little stud in there. There you go. There's a stud right there that you're gonna put into, and there's one on this side. Once you have those two, I'll hold it. You're gonna take the number 10, the little nut that goes right there. Make sure you put it by hand first. Use the extension with the socket. Once you have these two in, this pan is gonna hold itself up. And then you can put the rest of the bolts in. We're gonna tighten them evenly in a sequence, okay? And then you're gonna get this one on this side. And once you have this in, the pan is gonna hold itself. And then what you can do is you can take the rest of the bolts and you can put in the rest of the bolts. Alright, so what we're gonna do is by hand, we're gonna get all the bolts in there. Don't worry about the sealant, the bond sticking out through the hole. That's normal. These are all number 10 bolts. It's gonna take us a good 10 minutes to get them all in there, 5-10 minutes. Just get them all in there as much as you can by hand. And once we have these in there, we're gonna tighten them. You can torque them. Make sure you use a sequence, crisscross. Start working out from the center to out. Alright, so I'm gonna let them put all the bolts in and then we'll come back and we'll tighten it. Alright guys, we got all the bolts in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten these. We're gonna do 2 here and 2 on the other side, so it's crisscrosses. Now we're gonna go on the opposite side. You can tighten some on this. Just go crisscross. Don't go straight just don't go all around. That's not gonna work out very good. So we'll tighten the one back there. And then we'll come back to this side next. One thing I want to mention is, always guys, double check that number 14, the drain. Because sometimes even though you buy a new pan, it comes with it. Sometimes it's not tight, alright? Don't just let the customer go. And if it's your car, you don't want to have a leak. Alright, so we're going to tighten these by hand first, and then we'll torque it. And we'll come right back, and then after that we'll put the filter in and then the oil. job is complete. All right, you see this extra sealant here? Do not touch it with your finger. Do not try to like make it even. Leave it alone, all right? Because it's gonna work like a seal. All right, just leave that alone. So all you have to do is put a filter there, which is a 5608. I know I showed you a different type of filter, but it's a 5608. And then don't forget to tighten this drainer. Just double check it, all right? A lot of times they come loose, all right? So even though you think it's on it, it's tight, it might not be tight. And that's it. And don't forget to put the oil from the top.